I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited about today because whenever Mr. Sam falls, he brings number one, energy. Number two, he's in the trenches. Number three, you can feel his sincereness because he's actually doing it and not talking from height. And number four, he gets into how you can do the same thing as he. He brought us a great call of what? Everybody say it with me. Say it with me. Backbone and posture. Man, I love that guy. Slept on his floor until I get to where I want to go. See, he's committed all the way with this business. And I just want to say thank him. He's been on board with us for a few years. He love him. I always see him on Sunday TV when I watch TD Jakes. He's always on the front row, TD Jakes Ministries. Wherever Mr. Jakes go, he's there as well. Matter of fact, we just want to thank him for who he is and what he brings to the table for each and every one of us. And before I do this, yeah, that's all right. So with that said, let's bring on the one and only incomparable Mr. Sam Foster.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to thank everyone for being on the call. Like I always say, I know you guys can be anywhere, but you chose to be here today to listen to me, so I appreciate that. Want to also give it back to Mr. Al Thomas himself, the guru of all gurus. I want to thank him for allowing me to have this platform for this short period of time. I want to thank all the leaders that are on the call, all the RDs, all the RVPs, of course, SVPs. I appreciate you guys for coming. I won't be before you long. I know everybody says that, but it's true. Want to dive right into the information because I don't want to waste anybody's time. Okay. If you're taking notes, and I'm quite sure most of you are taking notes. If you're driving, I understand. All right. It's going to be titled A September to Remember. Yeah. I know it's August. I know it's the last day in August. Yeah, but we're thinking forward. We're in the last quarter of this year. We're in the last 4 months. So it's going to be titled A September to Remember. Hashtag next person. Repeat it again. A September to Remember. Hashtag next person. Well, Sam, why is he titled it hashtag next person? I'm getting to that. Bear with me for a second. I'm getting to that. I want to first of all start by saying Mr. Thomas did an awesome call on Saturday night. If you guys didn't catch the call, go back, Destiny International, and re-listen to that call. It was powerful. Matter of fact, it was one of the most powerful calls I ever heard. And I've heard a lot of calls from Mr. Thomas. But I think what happened to me, speaking personally for me, was the insight that he gave in the simplicity of it all. I'm gonna repeat that. The insight that he gave in the simplicity of it all. What do you mean, Sam? Well, you got to go back and look at it. But I'm just gonna put this out for the teaser. He used a packet of Splendor and Sweet and Low. Splendor and Sweet and Low. Very simplistic, but very powerful. Just a FYI. Okay. I'll get to my phases. Okay. ACN is culminated off of 4 phases. Only 4 phases. If you're taking notes, ACN is culminated off of just 4 phases. And it's all this was done on purpose by the co-founders. What do you mean, Sam? Phase number 1, simple as can be. 3 services, $75. 5 services, $200. 8 services, $400. 11 services, $600. Just 4 phases. Your first 30 days, 4 phases. And like I like to tell everybody, let me know when these individual people do not pay this out. I've never heard a person tell me if they hit these phases in the first 30 days, they didn't get their check. I've never heard a person tell me that since they started this opportunity. We've always paid out what we said. As a matter of fact, when I'm sending out the information to prospects, I always say to them, when this hits your phone, because I like to send them out to Tony Cooper's, profile that Tony Cooper's does. When I send it to him, I say, when it hits your phone, it can instantly become ironclad. What does that mean? That means that we're going to have to legally pay out what the opportunity says. So that way you get yourself off the hook, everyone. We're going to have to legally pay out. Here go the catchphrase, legally pay out what the opportunity says once it hits your phone. Well, why do you tell them that? Because once it hits their phone, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to see the ACN logo. Once they hit the tab on a cell phone, once it pops up, it's going to basically give the instructions of what we do, how we do it, and what our comp plan is all about. What do you mean, Sam? Who we are, what we do, how we get paid. Who we are, what we do, how we get paid. Simple as that. Listen, you can't mess this up if you wanted to. You send that to them, who we are, what we do, how we get paid. I say it all the time and twice on Sunday. That's it. That's it. You can't mess this up if you wanted to. It's all about keeping it simple. Why? Because this is going to be the September to remember. If you don't get paid this month, something wrong. September to remember. Okay, we got the 4 phases out of the way. Why'd you do the 4 phases? Because everybody on this call is a leader. And if you don't think you're a leader, there's a leader inside of everyone screaming to get out. I mean, literally screaming to get out. When Mr. Thomas did that call Saturday night, I almost fell out my chair. I said, this could not have been this simple. I'm running around trying to convince somebody to do this, convince them to do that, and run back around and tell them this and tell them that. He held up 2 different packets, and he simply said, sign up, put your name down, you get in the system, they bring you money. Simple as that. Well, ACN does the same thing. But the boost of it all is that if you're in ACN, watch this, ladies and gentlemen, for the new people on the call. For the new people on the call, just in case you want to get confused, and you can't. You're already doing the services. Did he say that? That's exactly what I said. You're already doing the services. You're literally getting paid off of what you're already doing. Wait a minute. Do I have to say anything else? No. Everybody that you meet, they're already doing your services. The only difference is they're not making money or they're not saving money. Doesn't matter. They're not making it and they're not saving. Simple as that. You couldn't mess this up if you wanted to. All right? Watch this. Nothing, write this down. Nothing is worse than missing an opportunity that could have changed your life. Let's say it again. Nothing is worse than missing an opportunity that could have changed your life. That's what we all need to put in the back of our minds for the September to remember. Nothing is worse than missing an opportunity that could have changed your life. But for most of the people that's on this call, congratulations, you didn't miss it. You're actually in the opportunity to change your life. Well, everybody's not the same. I get that. I understand that. But everybody can be an SVP. Everybody can be an SVP. The comp plan is simple. Repeat, repeat, repeat. What do you mean by that? We have a global business. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, we have a local mentality. I'm gonna say it again. We have a global business, $1 billion plus business, proven, documented. We just have a local mentality. What do you mean by that, Sam? Oh, I'm getting to it. No. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. I'm talking bad Sam. No. I'm not criticizing. I'm talking about me. Just look at me. Just look at me. Don't look around. Don't say he talking to me. No. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to me. I'm gonna get you off the hook. We have a global business, ladies and gentlemen, but I just have a local mentality. I've shrunk the business down to fit the local masses instead of the global phenomenon that ACN really is. But what do you mean? Well, we're all over the country, and we're in 27 countries outside the United States. I don't know if you guys got that, but we're in 27 countries outside the United States. Now that's going to be kind of hard to beat, especially for my new people. We've been up 28 years. 28 years. No, not 8, not 18, 2 and then an 8. 28 years. That's a long time. Now we've been up probably longer than a lot of people on this call been living. Now that's a fact. 28 years, you don't argue with that. You may argue with 2, you may argue with 3, you may haggle a little bit about 5 or 6. But when somebody says that we've been up 28 years, you drop the mic. I'm gonna let it sit. I'm gonna let it sit for a second. 28 years. If you just got into business within the last 2-3 days, just let someone know how long you've been up. 28 years. Now, when you say the word 28 years, that should resonate with somebody, because that should let those individuals know this is not a mom and pop shop. This has been proven, time tested in the face of adversity. I'm gonna repeat that. ACN has been proven and time tested in the face of adversity. But what do you mean by that, Sam? Well, you've been up 28 years. Now, we're not just in this thing by ourselves. We have individual carriers that come with us that are Fortune 500 companies, multi-million-dollar companies. Now, what makes those individuals come to ACN? Because we're doing what we say we're doing. We have the track record. We have the proven accolades that has been time tested over the years. Well, I never heard ACN. Yeah, but you've heard of the carriers that's under our umbrella. Did he say that? That's exactly what I said. You may not have heard of us, but you heard of the carriers that's under our umbrella. Why? Because you don't argue with that. People ask me all the time, well, who's with you guys? I said, well, you remember a small company back in the day used to be called Singular? They said, yeah. I said, well, now it's AT&T. Remember a small company back in the day, used to be called Sprint? What, Nextel? Well, they're with us. Over time, everybody evolved. And a lot of those companies merged with each other. Well, we didn't merge. People said, well, why you didn't merge? Well, we never wanted to be tied to anybody. We started off doing landline phones, house phones, for you new millennials that don't understand what that is. We just was doing house phones. Back in the early 90s, we started doing house phones. Then we started doing video phones to the soldiers that were in the Gulf War. So the soldiers can see their families over here in the States. Let me show you how all this merged together to benefit ACN, okay? When the Gulf War died down, and everybody started coming back stateside, or they started getting redeployed all over the globe, well, ACN just said, well, this new thing is coming aboard, everybody. So what's that? So it's called the internet. So well, we may want to put this on the internet. We may gain some traction. Just an idea. It worked. Not only did we gain the traction, but we were one of the first privately owned companies that hit the internet. Well, how does that relate to you guys? Well, those soldiers that we were talking about in the Gulf War, well, they started getting redeployed all over the globe. Well, the internet was just getting started, but you could throw it on the internet, it could go abroad. So what we did was, this is the genius of your co-founders, ladies and gentlemen. They said, well, why don't we put a corporate office in the 4 corners of the globe? Well, what do you mean, Sam? Okay, I'll tell you what they did. I'm gonna tell you the genius of your co-founders. Okay, first of all, they already had one in America. Okay, check the box. They put one in Germany, check the box. They put one in Australia, check the box. They put one in Asia. Well, that's the 4 corners of the globe, ladies and gentlemen. That's the 4 corners of the globe. Well, when the internet started gaining traction, we were already there. We had the major footprint. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and we don't tell everybody this, I don't know why we don't tell everybody this, but we're the world's largest producer of essential services on the planet. Whoa, in America? Uh-uh. In the entire globe, on the planet. You need to start telling that with pride. Because when you tell people that, you're going to let them look at you kind of strange. And you tell them again and don't blink. Just look at them right in the eye and say, on the globe. Just say it like that. On the globe. Then they'll start scratching their head and they'll start looking at you crazy. Yeah, but look right at them. Don't even blink. Just say, on the globe. Just like that. And that's going to force them to probably do their research. But you tell them, say, yeah, we've already done our research. Why? 28 years. You don't argue with 28 years. Okay, let me go a little farther. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. Watch this. First of all, we need to stop being scared to taproot. What do you mean, Sam? When you get to a perspective, you ask them, who do you know I need to know? Who do you know I need to know? That's it. Why? Because even if you get that person as a prospect, they may not work out. And if they don't work out, you've already taprooted to the next person or the next group of people. So you never stop asking, who do you know I need to know? That's Taproot 101. That's phase one of Taproot. Who do you know I need to know? That's how you keep that pipeline going. Who do you know I need to know? That needs to be the topic of conversation. As soon as you get that name and number and you call them, hey, who do you know I need to know? Who's your top 10? Who's your top 10 horses that can ride with you? Because you're always advancing forward. Why? Because this is going to be a September to remember. All right. Now we're going to break down the 9 to 5 compared to the business owner. With Sam, you go around, you go to these malls and you talk to people and you're always around. How do you distinguish the two? Well, I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. There's not a whole lot of distinction between the two people. Well, why do you say that? They're human. They're human. If they own a business, they own a home or an apartment or something. So all the services are still the same services, whether it's business or residential. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we do both, the business side and the residential. Now the credibility has lifted now because you can tell anybody we do both. We do business and residential. Well, why are you saying that? I'm glad you asked, okay? First of all, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out this 9 to 5 mentality. That's what's stopping us in ACN. I'm just going to be honest. I'm talking about me. Don't go tell nobody, oh, he talked about me. No. I talked about me. I'm going to use Sam Foster as an example. I'm talking about me. I'm going to get out this 9 to 5 mentality. Well, why you say that? Because I realized something about ACN. And I realized something that was stopping me a long time ago. Okay? I said I wasn't going to say this, but I work at the job, so hey, sue me. You know, it's my personal experience and it's correct. Now, I'm not telling you guys this from secondhand knowledge. I'm telling it from firsthand knowledge. I witnessed this personally myself, okay? This is going to free somebody. This is going to free somebody to go SVP. You watch what I tell you. When I say this, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to free somebody. Personal experience. Watch this. At my job, walked into the job one day, and our director had quit. He quit. Now, this guy had a PhD. He had all these accolades. I'm talking about mountains of experience. PhD now. He literally had a PhD in psychology. So he had the goods. He had the goods. He let the job go because the bosses were stressing him out. I'm going to let that sit for a while. The bosses were stressing him out. I mean, he was literally getting stressed out. He had to go to our nurses and get his blood pressure checked at least 2-3 times a week. At first, I thought he was playing. I said, well, maybe he need a vacation or something. He just trying to set this up. But I found out the guy was for real. How do you know he was for real, Sam? Because he quit. So the pressure was getting on him that bad. I said, wow, I thought this guy was making a bunch of money. He got a PhD, he got all the goods. They paying him a bunch of money. No, ladies and gentlemen, he was in the 9 to 5. He was a 9 to 5er. They don't make any money. You're in ACN. You make residual based income. What is that, Sam? That means every time you connect a service or someone, you give yourself a raise. Literally. 9 to 5ers don't get that luxury. They just get stressed. And they either get fired or quit. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Now watch this. Don't lose me. Don't lose me. I got it. Don't lose me. Don't hang up yet. Don't hang up. I'm only talking about me. I'm only talking about me. Watch this. I go to the job. That's just me now. I go to the office. They say so-and-so just quit. They resigned. I said, what? I thought he was playing. They said, no, he wasn't playing, man. They were stressing him out around here. He let it go. I said, wow. I'm sitting at my desk. I mean, me and the guy was real close. So I'm thinking, wow, man, if he got stressed out, I'm like, wow, man, what am I going to do? So I started thinking to myself, I said, well, who are they going to hire? Watch this. They played checkers and not chess. What do you mean? I'm going to tell you what companies do. This is what companies do. Well, Sam, you're so animated and you're so driven. This is why I'm driven, ladies and gentlemen. This is what drove me to get to this point, because this is what I saw corporate America do. For my new people on the phone that never heard this in detail, put your seatbelt on. You're going on a ride. Watch this. Corporate America, they sat down, they said, well, if this guy has a PhD and we can't keep him, we're going to have to change the game around. So they started playing checkers. They told us, they got us in a big room together in the conference room. Oh, they put us all in the conference room. And we were all there, man. The PhDs, the BS degrees, the master's degrees. Oh, man, we had more degrees in the room than a thermometer. It was so many degrees in the room. Oh, so many egos in the room. They sticking their chests out. Oh, my God, it was crazy. I'm looking around like, wait a minute. Why are we all in this room together like this? You know what I'm saying? Oh, they call a big meeting. Be careful when they call a big meeting, when everybody's in the room. All the big wigs came down from different parts of the state. Oh, they was in the room. Some of these people that were in the room, we only knew them on paper. We said, oh, that guy's in the room. Oh, that's the head person, and that's the head person. Oh, he was in the room. And they told us, they say, look, they said, we don't want this to happen anymore, because we run a big time organization and we deal with the psyche. So a lot of times with mental health, they don't always like change, because the clientele, they get real jittery about new people, especially if it's a new doctor or new counselor. They get a little jittery, and then everything just algorithms just start going all over the place. So they say, well, we want to keep it status quo. We want to keep it flatline. We want to try to keep everybody. Okay. So what they did was they said, well, we can't use another PhD, because all that person's gonna do, since they know they got a little bit more going on, they're gonna leave. So what they did was they ended up going to get a female that barely had a bachelor's degree. Now, wait a minute, you finna try to run an organization that at minimum you need a master's degree, but we're gonna use her as pretty much the door stopper. So what do you mean by the door stopper? Well, they brought her in, right? Because they knew if they brought her in with a BS, she would stay the longest, because she would feel obligated. She don't have any more degrees than a BS, so she's gonna feel more obligated to stay, because they hooked her up. Young girl, didn't know what was going on, She was hooked on the title. Get out of the titles. She was hooked on the title. They gave her a big title. Mr. Thomas says it all the time, with a little bitty paycheck. Just a little bitty paycheck. If you knew what she was making, you would laugh. She made a little bit of money, but they gave her a big title. Okay, watch this. They used my boss, the one that had not only a master's degree, but 10 years of experience, a whole host of skills and things of that nature that she brought to the table that she had been doing for years. Watch this. They had her train the new girl, trained her for about 2, 3 months, showed her everything, showed her everything. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. COVID hit, and they said, we're gonna be making some changes, ladies and gentlemen. So they're gonna be making some changes. I mean, the clientele hadn't changed. Matter of fact, it's got worse because of the COVID. It got worse. So we got more clientele. What do you mean they're gonna be making some changes? Well, they figured out, like Mr. Thomas used to say, they'll trade a 40 in for 220. In other words, what they said was, they said, well, we'll change the requirements for actually being the director. So instead of saying you have to have a master's or a PhD, we're going to say you can have watch this, a BS degree, and put a couple of other catchphrases in there. In other words, we're going to bring them in, let somebody else train them that's qualified to train them. Watch this. Then we're going to split the salary. They cut the salary in half, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this. Gave the half the salary over to the new girl. After my boss trained this girl for 2, 3 months, they fired her. Watch this. And they used the catchphrase that they use in business. They called it a furlough. They used the word furlough. That's fancy for fire. They furloughed her, had her out for about 2 months, then they let her go. And then everybody in the building was saying, it's not right. Well, let's go get some lawyers, we'll sue. Like, how you gonna sue when they got the right to change the profile? They did their job, they changed the profile. All they did was train the person, and then the other people's gonna back her up. They changed the profile, and they were right in doing so. But my point is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're an ACN, you don't have to change your profile. You don't have to worry about a BS degree, a master's degree, a doctorate degree. Wait a minute. I even heard them say, we don't care if you're from jail or Yale. Well, if you can do the comp plan, you can do the comp plan. All you got to do is get a couple of IBOs and get a couple of customers and repeat the process. You don't have to worry about a title. Okay, I can tell Mrs. Thomas they're looking at me real deep. I can tell they're looking at me deep. I can just feel it. I can just feel the energy. They're looking at me saying, he ought to be ashamed of himself. He ought to be ashamed of himself. No. If I offend you, I meant to. Watch this part. I'm gonna tell you how they play games. They'll mess around and use a title as an upswing. How do you know that, Sam? Watch this. If anybody can put in the chat, if they can put in the chat who this is. Watch this, Mr. Thomas. I'm gonna teach somebody something today. Watch this. I'm gonna tell you about corporate America. See, I'm gonna tell you about corporate America, because at my job, you got to have at least a master's degree to do what I do. At least a master's. You can't even fool with it with a BS. So imagine how we felt that had to go to school to get all these master's degrees, and this girl come in and my boss said she barely got a BS degree. Come on, man, stop playing with me. I shouldn't have went to school. If my boss is gonna have less than me and they gonna be my boss, come on, ACN, save me, ACN, save me. Watch this. Who can put in the chat who this is? Put this in the chat. If anybody can put this in the chat. This is the title. Head industrial engineer. Put that in the chat. Head industrial engineer. That's how they play with titles. Let me show you who that person is. Head industrial engineer. Who is that person? No, not an engineer. I'm gonna show you how they play with titles. I'm just gonna show you at my job. They play with titles. Watch this. You're exactly right, Marcel Carter. It's a janitor. Watch this. They give that person $1, a $1 increase to give them a big title. Now. Remember, you're a head industrial engineer. How Marcia know that? Watch this. Because she know they play with titles on her job. That's why she ain't got the job she used to have. They play with the same title. Don't play with me. They played with her the same way. 400 and some people got kicked out of her job because they playing with titles. Watch this. Watch this. Now you're the head industrial engineer. They only paid you $1 an hour more. I broke that down into 40 hours a week. But wait a minute. That's only $40. So now you got a bunch of keys on your hip with a big title. Statistics say. Now, I don't know. This is what statistics say, ladies and gentlemen. Statistics say, right? It says that you can give an employee a title and not give them a raise. Let me say that again. If you give the average employee a title, and you don't even have to give them any money, they'll stay 10 years longer. 10 years longer off of a title. A title. Because they can walk around and lie to their friends, oh, I got a promotion. What's your title now? Oh, I'm the head industrial engineer. I thought you was a janitor. Oh, I'm the lead. I'm the lead. What does that mean? I'm the lead. I'm the lead. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. But they play psyche games with your mind, and they get you to stay 10 more years. It's just the title. It has nothing to do with it. Even if they gave you $1 raise, that's only $40. After taxes, ladies and gentlemen, if they gave you that $40, you'll only take home at least $18. $18. Because Uncle Sam got to get his. And by the time all that gets out the way and you pay FICA and all these other people you pay, you coming home with about $15 to $18. Watch this. On the whole check. I'm not talking about $15 an hour. No. $15. 15 to 18 bucks. You may be able to go to Starbucks and get 2 cups of coffee. You may be able to go to Starbucks and get you 2 cups of coffee off of it. That's it. But you'll walk around all day with a bunch of keys on you, and then they tell you, Mr. John, go over there and open up door number 5. Mr. John, go up door. When you could have been in ACN the whole time making residual-based income. Why? Because everybody's doing the services. Okay. Let me clear this up. Okay. What really is going on comparing the 9 to 5er to the business owner, I like to tell everybody that we're losing our integrity in ACN. What do you mean you're losing the integrity? I'm gonna tell you, we're losing the integrity because we've made the average person fit the brand of ACN instead of the brand to fit the average person. Let me repeat that if you're writing notes. We've made the average person fit the brand of ACN instead of the brand fitting the average person. What do you mean? Well, we don't need to dilute our brand. If somebody doesn't want to get in, next person. One of the co-founders said that. Next person. Why are we holding on to 1 or 2 people? I'm guilty of it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna talk about myself. I'm guilty of it. I get 4 or 5 people in the business, and I gotta talk about them 4 or 5, and I gotta do 4 or 5. But I got 10 over here that I'm prospecting that can really get the business, but the 4 or 5, they didn't got high on the hog, and I'm busy. Let me hit you back. Well, wait a minute. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, if they're a business owner and they tell you they busy, you may want to leave them alone. No disrespect. But how can you be a business owner, right? And you do ACN and you're busy. First of all, to the business owner that gets an ACN, it's going to increase your bottom line because everything now is to you. You get the profits back in your pocket. You don't have to outsource anything. Everything you can do can be done within yourself. You could do your own electricity, your own internet, your own cable. You could do your own identity theft protection. You could do all your own stuff. Credit card processing, that's back to you. So if you get a business owner and they say, well, I'm too busy to do ACN, how are you too busy to do something that's going to directly affect your business in a positive way? You can't be too busy to do that if you're looking at your bottom line. Because to the average business owner, if they're a real business owner, you know what I found out, ladies and gentlemen? Most people, when they tell me they too busy to do ACN, they broke. Oh, busy mean broke. Busy mean broke. Don't be mistaken. Busy mean broke. They'll tell you all day, I'm busy, I'm busy, busy. Had a gentleman that I prospected Sunday. Prospected the guy at the mall. He calls me and was asking me about ACN. I said, did you check out the video? I watched some of it. And I just want to ask you a few questions. He only asked me one question. Okay, I answered the question. Then I told him, I said, you business owner, right? He said, yes, I own my own trucking business. I said, well, if you own your own trucking business, why are you paying out what you could be paying in to yourself? You need to just flip your service. He started thinking about it. He said, oh, you got a good point. I said, well, yeah, I know I got a good point. I said, Visa or MasterCard. Come on now, backbone and posture, Visa or MasterCard. Because now we don't need to be debating about nothing. Then he tells me, he said, well, let me get back where I'm so busy. I said, what you busy doing? He said, well, I got contracts with FedEx and UPS. I said, FedEx and UPS? I said, well, that ought to be to your favor. I said, because the essential services that we do should clear your bottom line. Then he started saying, Then it hit me. It hit me in my mind, ladies and gentlemen, backbone and posture. I said, well, man, I don't know if you need to be doing this. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, because you debating about earning money that you putting out. I said, so there's no way, I don't think this is going to work for us. I said, because you don't understand owning a business. I said, the business owns you. Oh, it got quiet. It got quiet on the phone, ladies and gentlemen. When I said that, it got real quiet. Then he said something to me that really just made me really just want to hang the phone up on it. Because when he knew he was stuck, ladies and gentlemen, when he knew the business owned him and he didn't own the business, he said to me, he said, well, I got a driver that worked for me also. I said, yeah, but you're not making residual income. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, every time I connect the service, I give myself a raise. I said, you're contracted through FedEx and UPS. I said, if you or your partner don't get on that truck, you broke. I said, if I connect someone to a service, I'm making the money month after year and growing. And I don't have to do it again. I said, until you don't have to get on that truck again, you're broke. Oh, when I said that, he finally pulled out what he would call his trump card. And his trump card was this, ladies and gentlemen. He said, well, man, you got a point. I ain't gonna lie, you got me, man, you got me. And I'm thinking, it ain't even gotcha, it's just reality. Watch this here. Then he says to me, he said, well, I gotta talk to my wife about it because we talk about everything. Well, he didn't realize, ladies and gentlemen, when I met him, he was with his wife. His wife was hitting him, telling him, get his number, right? So I already knew that was a lie. So watch this. I said, you own a big time business? You call your wife every time you got to make a transaction? I said, man, it ain't but $224. You got that in your sock. I said, you got that in your sock, man. I said, so you lying to yourself. So that's what I did. I learned this by Mr. Thomas a long time ago. I sent him how to get started. You know, I sent him my website. Then I gave him, of course, the instruction. And then I followed it up by saying this. If you don't change, all you have in your pocket is change. Why is that? Because I had to let the entrepreneur know. Most entrepreneurs do not own their business, ladies and gentlemen. Do not be fooled. The business owns them. And the reason why the business owns them is because, just like I said, we have the best company in the world. Why? Because we make true residual income. That means if you got to get up every day, I don't care how much you earn, if you got to get up every day and walk out your door, and your money can't repeat itself naturally once you do it the first time, you're a slave. And you just have to be honest with them. Now, I'm not saying call them a slave. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you have to have that in your arsenal to let them know and have the backbone and posture to let them know, man, you still working for somebody. You're working for somebody. Yeah, I own this. No, you don't own it. It owns you because you don't make residual income. Like I told the gentleman, I said, hey, man, I said, if you got to get in that truck in the morning to go to work, I don't care if you got another driver. I don't care if you have 100 drivers. If you got to get in the truck and it don't make it on its own, then he tried to be slick about it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll be through when I say this. He tried to be slick about it. He said, well, like I told you, I got other drivers. I said, yeah, but they got to get in the truck too. I said, residual income, I don't have to get in the truck. I said, I can walk out my door and make more income and make it come back in residually after I do it the first time. That's why most business owners do not catch what you guys are saying because they still have a worker's mentality. You have to explain this business to them like I just did it to you guys because they don't know. All they know is I got the keys to the building, but you don't have the key to ACN. You got keys to your building that you can't afford. With ACN, we have the key to free anybody on a 9-to-5 job. We have the key, not keys with an S. We don't need but one key, and that's ACN. And like I tell everybody, the only way that you don't win in ACN is that you don't get started or you quit. Other than that, you'll win in ACN if you don't quit. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and let this be a September to remember. Let's start today. Thank you, Mr. Thomas.